What is up, everyone? Welcome to the JETS-ALORIAN podcast. This is the way on the BX Sports Jedi Network. Boy, I wonder we have something to talk about. Yes, we do, Jet fans. Yes, we do, Jet fans. We have our hope as the New York Jets gets informed today. Yes, not a lot of brightness in this franchise. Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show has said he will come play for the New York Jets. Finally. I waited. I seen a lot of action with the free agency. I hold off my videos. I hold off to talk about the Jets. I wanted to talk all about the Jets in one nutshell and not just saturate with a lot of different videos and wondering. And finally the day has arrived. Rodgers makes a decision. He felt that he was disrespected by the franchise, that he played 16 plus years, won numerous of MVPs, a Super Bowl title, and they said they were done with him when in fact he wanted to be done the other way around. And out of the darkness he comes out as a light, as a hope for the New York Jets. 50 plus years of just not even returning to the Super Bowl, getting to the AFC title games numerous times, only to fail with Parcells and twice with Rex Ryan. We have our quarterback. His name is Aaron Rodgers. Wow. I understand he's only 30. He's 38 years old, going to be 39 during the season. I get it. We probably have 2-year window with him, with Aaron Rodgers. Heck, we could even say 1 year. He could come 1 year and say he's going to retire, and he's done if things don't work out well. But boy, the Jets are loading it up, bringing him in. Why it took so long? Well, one thing that a lot of people are not saying in the contract language, today is the first calendar year of the NFL. So the new league season starts today. Green Bay is now going to pay this salary or the bonuses. Now, they could trade him. It's not going to happen until Monday, officially. And do it all that, the salary cap in the NFL is really tricky, really funny, funky. I think, a lot of people say, well, there is no compensation. The Jets and the Green Bay Packers already agreed to compensation. It's only a matter of time before they say what it is. I won't be surprised if it's like a third round, pick, because Green Bay wants to get that money off their books. I think they get that money off the books, and I believe Rodgers will get restructured And of course, you see already the result of Aaron Rodgers coming to the New York Jets. Alan Lazard is going to be one of the wide receivers he's going to be throwing to. Familiar face, a familiar foe. A 27-year-old wide receiver who, my God, is a good wide receiver, knows the ins and outs. Nathaniel Hackett signing with the New York Jets is a big plus. I believe him going out there with Woody and the brass that went to meet Aaron Rodgers, put the plan, the execution on the table. I know Woody Johnson and Rodgers wanted to know, if I'm coming to your team, are you going to invest and bring the free agents and the necessary players I need around me to try to take this franchise and take it past the AFC title game and get them into the Super Bowl since 1969. And of course, you heard it must have been a positive meeting that the owner said, yes, I will spend. I personally, I think Rodgers gets a 2 or 3 year deal, a restructure, and I guarantee with some money guaranteed up front. And I think you're going to start seeing all the different players. Good job on the Jets re-signing Quincy Williams back. Corey Davis might be a casualty, might be cut, especially Lazard in. Now we're talking about all different other types of players that they might bring in the Jets. You're talking about Cobb, you so many other names there. Let's just pump the brakes and see who we get here, because the Jets have a good nucleus on offense. Garrett Wilson, very good. CJ Osamley, he actually, they restructure a couple of the contracts to free up some money for the cap. The Jets are reloading. The Jets are going to, are they going to go to the Super Bowl? No one knows. In football, injuries, literally is the flip of a coin. You never know. But boy, they are gearing up to put a strong team out on the field. You saw that they made a trade for safety, Sharp. Clark, they brought him in here. Good job on them making that trade. They're boosting their secondary. The Jets kicking the tires out there, looking to see who they're going to bring here. Boy, they're not your grandfather's Jets, and they're not Jets. They're these new Jets under Douglas. In Douglas we trust. You see how they did a hell of a job with their draft last year, moving in of course, from getting away from Jamal Adams. My God, remember that. He was a hell of a player, but he's never been the same dynamic corner or safety when he was with the Jets. May gone. And we thought, my God, we drafted some good players there, but the Jets retool. They're smart. Douglas, when he came here, took the job. I need a 6-year commitment from the owner. Let me do my program. Give me 6 years to get my program going. Yes, it started a little rocky, especially when you allow McCagnon in the draft and you made a change after the draft, the free agency. You brought in the GM. It was kind of a little bit behind, a little backwards, you could say, but Douglas has come in here and done such a wonderful job. I understand everyone wants to hold them against the quarterback. Hindsight is 2020. Zach Wilson, when in that draft, what was he supposed to really do? You want your coaches to go out there, and I go back to that Rams game. I know I love Joe Badingo. Listening to him, he's when I think of Jets persona, I think of Joe Badingo, one of the best. And he was excited about winning that meaningless game against the Rams. Just think about how this franchise would have been. They lose that game against the Rams. They get the number 1 pick. Tremor Lawrence is the quarterback at this team. With all those players, I mean, you never know what they would have drafted. You never know. Hey, Mikey, salute, Mikey, salute. Thank you for joining me here in the chat. Now, with this franchise, if they would have got Trevor Lawrence, different story. We were talking about, but Zach Wilson, I understand you want to hold that against this general manager, but my God, look at this draft. Wilson, Jermaine Johnson. You've got so many great players for the Jets that they have picked up. Elijah Moore, making the moves. My goodness, Sauce Gardner. Yes, of course, it helps when you have a couple of first round picks, but what does he turn those first round picks to? We've seen forever this franchise select first rounders, second rounders that are turned into nothing. Douglas knows what he's doing. Now, I understand a lot of folks don't have faith in the head coach, Rob Saleh, defensive minded coach, but now you brought in Nathaniel Hackett. Now, Nathaniel Hackett is going to run the offense where he tried to head some guys that may not be head coach materials. They might be totally offensive coordinators who are just super. Look at Nerf Turner. Could Nathaniel Hackett be that Nerf Turner, the new modern day Nerf Turner for Rob Saleh and the defense? I'm excited. To be honest with you, I am so excited. Lazard is going to help them big time. With especially in the schemes of the route running. It's going to be a blanket for the quarterback for ROGERS. Now, I don't know how much money they're going to have. It looks like they're going to have a lot of money. They had a lot of money in the cap here. What they're going to bring for the Jets, we shall see. They've got a strong defense. There's talks about now, big news. Cowboys release Ezekiel Elliott. They're going to need a running back until Breece Hall returns. Remember, he's coming from an ACL. It takes about a year and a half. It takes about half a year, about close for him to get really going strong, with like the same way Adrian Peterson. If you could get and also when you have a quarterback dynamic like that and that defense that the New York Jets have, and of course they just upgraded in corner. They have Reed, their secondary very strong. They have some pass rushers, some linebackers with C.J. Mosley. My goodness, this team is really, really good, ready to take that next step, going to be a player first in the AFC East first. If the Jets decide they want to go and bring Ezekiel Elliott to run the football, remember, Mekhi Becton lost weight. He's lost about 40 pounds. If you look at his video, he's slimmed down. He's 315 pounds, 317. Looking lean, working in the facility, working his rear end off, because it's a make or break for Mekhi Becton. If he's gonna either get in shape, show something, or he's gonna eat himself out of the league, or probably play for the AFL or the XFL. Be honest with you. And he's busting his rear end. You're also gonna have Elijah Vera Tucker returning back from injuries. The Jets line is pretty strong. Now, if they, depending on what compensation is going on here with the Green Bay Packers, which personally, I don't think the Jets lose their first round pick this year. I think they keep it at 13, and they're going to go get another lineman. They'll probably get the lineman from Minnesota, the center. They'll probably beef up the line. You also have Orlando Brown out there. The Jets. It's been exciting to talk about the Jets for a long time. And this is different from those AFC title games, when Mangini left. They were a little aging. Of course, you had Thomas Jones, you had a team a little older, like right at the peak, and they didn't have the right quarterback. And Breck still got them to 2 AFC title games. Here you have a young up-and-ascending team. The older quarterback, the veteran quarterback that knows the right plays. We saw Brady do this with Tampa, go elsewhere from New England and win. We're hoping that the Jets get that. We're hoping that the Jets get similar situation where, of course, we want the same results as Tampa. He comes over here and wins. This is also a draft that's going to be tight end strong. They're saying one of the best tight end drafts this year in a few years. So there's going to be a lot of good tight ends in the draft. Will the Jets? We saw they have C.J. Osamala. They have a couple. They have another draft. Will they go tight end? I don't know. It looks like they're going to go O-line, to be honest with you. But in Douglas, we trust. Whatever Joe Douglas does, I can't not complain about it, other than the quarterback again. Now, if I'm the Jets, I'll find out how much a year. What is it going to take to get Orlando Brown? He's Orlando Brown in that line. I don't know what how much was going to cost the Jets there, but if you could have that there to help out that old line for Rodgers, my goodness. And if you could get Ezekiel Elliott on a 1-year deal, if there's room for him, you bring Ezekiel Elliott in here to run. I don't know how much he has left, but you don't need him to be your bell cow running back when you have Breece Hall and you have Bam in the running. Of course, but you want Rodgers to have someone he could trust who's going to get the blitz and pick up a blocker. And I know Ezekiel Elliott could do that. Also, you're going to be playing in the winter time in wind in that MetLife Stadium. You're going to need to run the football. You're going to need a running presence. And of course, until Breece Hall is 100%, you want to have a running game. You don't want everyone. We saw what the Aaron Rodgers ramification meant in the AFC East. You saw Miami Dolphins make a move. They got Jalen Ramsey. They need more corner. They want. You know what? The AFC has a lot of good quarterbacks now in their own division. I like the Jets, to be in that AFC division lead. It all depends, because I think Buffalo, I'm sorry, Mafia Nation, but I think your Buffalo Bills have just taken a minor step back. Losing Tremaine Edwards and getting poached. That's what happens when you're really good. You start losing a lot of good players on your team, and sometimes the certain positions that you take for granted, you lose them. It gets plucked out of your team, and you never fill that void. We don't know if Buffalo is you could put point a lot of fingers in Buffalo. Brian Dable help Allen. Whatever the case is, I am excited that our Jets here. Not only I'm thinking they're going to be good, Vegas thinks they're going to be good. They're going to think they're ready to take that next step in football premises. Now I know AFC is a really tough conference, but you can only have one champion, and I'm just hoping that Kansas City, the Los Angeles, that division don't beat themselves up mercifully. I know we have a tough division with Buffalo and Miami. That's going to be another one. That's a nail biter of division as well. Could I see a scenario where Miami with Mike White coming in, taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets? I don't see Tua with his history of injuries. Tua's not going to play full set. And Nick could say the same thing about Rodgers. And of course, that's another issue we're going to have to worry about, folks, Jet fans. Who backs up Aaron Rodgers? Do the Jets bring a veteran? I know there's a list of veterans that's getting wound down because Jacoby Brissett signed with the Commanders. So he's off the board. That would have been a nice pickup if they would have brought in another vet in there. Because, my goodness, I know half of the Jet Nation, Zach Wilson, backing up Aaron Rodgers. You want to kind of have a vet, but we shall see there what they'll do. There's going to be plenty of time there. Maybe a cut, June 1st type of cut. If there's a quarterback that they want to bring here, veteran, to be the second, and you make Wilson the third string. I know it's going to help Zach Wilson being under the tutelage of watching, even if they don't hit it off. Even though Zach said that Rodgers was one of his idols. And maybe see his preparation, his read on how he works, how he reads the defense, how he reads the different plays, the play action, the zones, how quickly he gets the ball out, how he protects himself from the blind side. Maybe that helps a kid and Zach Wilson, and see and when Rodgers do hang him up 2 years from now, he comes in like nothing and just takes off there. Because if everything, the Jets are looking to have a perfect world. In a perfect world, they could win a Super Bowl in the next year or two. Rodgers contemplates playing one more year, or they win the Super Bowl. He decides he's going to retire into darkness, and he wins the Super Bowl for the Jets. He goes and retires. Then you have Wilson ready to go after 2 years sitting under him, and then he just takes off and kicks, and he's going to be playing for a contract. That's the perfect world scenario the Jets are trying to paint to us, or wants us to buy. Now it's up to us Jet fans if we're willing to. Okay, are we willing to take that transaction? All right, I'm gonna take Rodgers in 2 years, and as long as Zach is a maybe, but man, I don't know if they'll get rid of Zach Wilson. Now, I don't know if any team is desperate enough to get a Zach Wilson out there. Look at, and maybe this is the league where you look like you're going to need more than one or two quarterbacks. Look at San Francisco 49ers. Sam Darnold now there, with Purdy, and they still have Lance. So they have three quarterbacks just in case. You saw that they had a good team, and they ran out of quarterbacks in the NFC title game. Teams are starting now to get multiple quarterbacks just in case. Will the Jets get a veteran quarterback out there? Only time will tell if anything's out there. With the usuals, the Andy Daltons, Tyler Heineke. It'll be interesting to see where they go there. We know that Corey Davis is gone. We know that Lazard's here. We know the offensive line is going to get stronger. Defensively, where could we add in the defense? I believe we should just sign some of our own, Curry. We need to sign some of Franklin Meyer. We got to keep our own. Keep the people that are familiar with the scheme and who has given results for the Jets here, not starting to get cute. It'll be interesting to see what the Jets do. Now, with Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets, I think opening night, they'll be on primetime. There'll be so more primetimes game. It wouldn't surprise me that the Jets, and especially if Ezekiel Elliott does sign with the Jets, I wouldn't be surprised that the Jets will be playing on Thanksgiving. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Thanksgiving, Jets take on the Cowboys. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Because Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets taking on, and if they are like on fire, they're having a really good season, like leading the AFC East and all that good stuff. That's a marquee matchup to put on a Thanksgiving weekend. Now Thanksgiving Thursday afternoon game. That's a guaranteed 4:00 New York Jets and the Cowboys. Opening night, maybe the first Sunday Night Football or the Monday Night Football or the February of week 1. Aaron Rodgers. They could. I don't know if NFL will do that, although that'll be a little bit. Personally, I don't think they should push it back more. They'll get more eyeballs. Personally, Jets-Giants play this year. Of course, the Giants are the home team. Will they dare to put that on a Monday night? In week 1. I don't think they'll do it. I think personally they should move that on a primetime later, because you're gonna have the both baseball teams possibly in the postseason. New York. I know football is they believe more of a national, but you really want to get the local ratings up there. The Jets are gonna be in some primetime games. They're gonna be on some primetime games. Personally, believe they play the Kansas City Chiefs this year as well. Got to check their schedule out. They're going to be, with Aaron Rodgers now, you're going to see more of them on prime time. More prime time games. So expect a lot of watch-alongs here with the Jets. We're definitely going to have more watch-alongs here. The Jets are going to be fun. They're going to be exciting. Right now, they're going to be mostly talked about. So a lot of these, you're going to start seeing a lot of veterans looking to try to get a Super Bowl ring and help Rodgers out and try to jump on for vet minimum, for low salaries, just to fit under the cap for the Jets here. And I believe that's going to be mostly offensive players. Now, I know there was Rodgers said that he did not give a list. There was all talks that he wanted Odell Beckham. He wanted a few players. They happened to ask him, and he just mentioned them and said that very encouraging, nice things about them. Doesn't mean he wanted to play with them. He just gave a very cordial explanation on why he likes certain players. They're gonna surround this guy with as many weapons, safety blankets, whatever he needs. Because this team, listen, I gotta applaud the Johnsons as much as we about them. He's going for a Super Bowl. He's trying to win us a Super Bowl. It's enough already. 1969. It's enough already. It's time for us to start winning. Trying to try to win. I know a lot of Jet fans. We're tired of being butt of jokes. We want to see when it's Super Bowl Sunday. We want to see our teams there. Like we're not. I'm tired of watching the Super Bowls, watching other teams come out of nowhere and win. I know it's a tough one. Kansas City, Cincinnati. You know that they're strong. Buffalo, even Miami. You got a lot of good AFC games. Jacksonville Jaguars. But oh boy, but anything that's run with a Tony Khan, forget it. They're not gonna go anywhere. He'll mess it up. That's in his DNA. There's going to be some competition. What does Deshaun Watson look? Even though he's playing for the Browns, could they improve? You're also going to have Lamar Jackson. Will he play this year on a chip on his shoulder, on a franchise tag? And Baltimore might be another team that might, AFC has a lot of competition. Now it's up to the Jets to go out there and execute the game plan. I believe Nathaniel Hackett is going to be fine. I think our offense are going to be good. One thing I just got to hope that our defense, again, injuries. Hopefully the injury bug doesn't hit or derail the Jets. But it's going to be a super season. Hopefully we're participating in the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. Shall we see? We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. But this is the JETS-ALORIAN podcast. I will be making a little more videos, but I got to prepare for later this evening. They got the World Baseball Classic, Puerto Rico versus Dominican Republic. So I wanted to make this quick, short video, knowing that Rogers is back and he could be our only hope. Right now, as for the quarterback, this team has been starving and desperate for a freaking quarterback that could get under center and play competent quarterback. We haven't had my goodness. We had expectations with Boomer Esiason. He did not live up to his MVP. That was the last really MVP that we got on this team to try to lead us. And I'm not talking about Super Bowl. I'm talking about league MVP. Super Bowl MVP, Joe Flacco, but we knew where he was in his career. Joe Namath. Right there, Aaron Rodgers is going to break a lot of these guys' records. Especially if he plays 2 years consecutive with the Jets. My goodness. I believe he'll get, personally, I don't want to get too giddy. I believe he gets over 3,500 yards. Over 3,500 yards. I'm not going to say 4,000, but I think he's going to get over 3,500 yards with the Jets. I mean, they're going to be with Garrett Wilson. My goodness. My God. It's just, I'm just dreaming of all those plays, all those passes in the slot, throwing the ball downfield. It's going to be fun, guys. But with that said, guys, I want to thank you guys for letting me give you a few minutes, give you my thoughts on the Jets. I'm excited. I'm giddy. I'm ecstatic. And right now, just take it like Aaron Rodgers says, relax. But again, Aaron Rodgers, you are our only hope. So, guys, thank you again. This is the JETS-ALORIAN podcast here on BX Sport Jedi Kev. We'll talk soon. Peace.